What's up, YouTube fam? Welcome back to the channel. In this episode, I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of why I'm up today, right? Because it's going to be different than anything that you probably have heard online. I can almost guarantee it, so make sure you watch the whole video. I'm not going to keep it too long, but I just want to talk about it, right? So I want you guys to really understand what investing in the market actually is like and how to do it successfully. And I want to really make it simple for you guys. So, obviously a lot of our investments involve TQQ and IBIT, right? And I just want you guys to understand the way it works. So, I think a lot of us get caught up in the idea of day trading, all of this nonsense that I see online today, whether it's ICT, any sort of real technical analysis to me, it's just become a little nonsensical, right? And the reason being is that most of them genuinely aren't making money, even if they're posting screenshots. We all know that in the market, everybody has winning days and losing days. And that's what I want to break down for you guys here today, is understanding how, the market really works and how life works, right? I think this video is going to give you some perspective. So I want you to consider this, right? At the end of the day, I'm up 1,500 today. Yes, I'm technically down money on this account in the moment, right? But I think the problem with this series is all this is documenting is from when I put the money into this account. It doesn't document, the money I've made in my accounts before this. It wasn't like I just bought the top. It feels as if I bought the top, right? Because that's when I started this account. I put $100,000 into this account. Let's see. Let's go to the date. Transfers. Let's see. Deposits, right? February 25th, February 24th, I put 80,000 extra dollars into the account. And since then, all we've seen is the market fall down, right? So it doesn't matter that this account is down, because overall in the last few years of investing, I'm up a large amount on my overall portfolios, on my overall holdings. So I just wanted to get that out there so, I could explain, I guess, why I'm qualified to discuss this topic. But the reality is, right, we're all getting lost in this idea of day trading. And what do I mean by day trading? I mean trading with too much leverage, taking positions where your stop loss is below a low on a 1 minute time frame, right? Which is just ridiculous. And I've been there. I've done it. I know how the idea of it seems, right? It seems like, what they're painting on social media is if you learn this one secret technical analysis trick, you will create wealth in your life. And it's just not the case. That is not the way the universe works. The way the universe works is if you want to create wealth, give people more than what they pay for. It's that simple, right? Create a product that is worth more than what people pay for. Now, if you want to create wealth in the markets is designed to create more wealth. That's the difference. The market is not designed to just create wealth for you. It's designed to create more wealth for you. And, I think it's an important concept, because I think as human beings, if your whole idea of life is I'm going to trade these 1 minute, small positions on prop firm accounts, and that's how I'm going to make my living, you're going to lead a very unfulfilled life. The way you lead a fulfilled life is by exactly what I just said, creating some sort of product or doing some sort of service, some sort of job where you are giving more to the universe than you're even being paid, right? And that's ultimately what I want you guys to consider, is that, if you want to have success in the markets, it's not trying to be this day trader. What it is understanding this. If you were to place a bet, what would you rather do? Would you rather place small bets on a bunch of things that might or might not hit? Or would you rather put as much money as you possibly can on a guaranteed winner, right? For me, I'd rather put $100,000 on a guaranteed winner than try to spread $1,000 amongst a bunch of losers. To me, the heartache and headache is not worth it. So when it comes to things like IBIT and TQQQ, I can't even say TQQ. The amount of Qs, it's very hard to say. But, the amount that I'm putting into these assets, right, it comes down to the fact that I'd rather have all of my money in assets that I genuinely can trust, and then think about more ways to monopolize on those assets, right? So it's like, not only do I have all these shares of TQQQ, but I also have all of these shares on IBIT, and then I'm renting all of these, whatever you want to call them, rental streams of income. It's the ability to take assets that you can trust and just figure out ways to have more chips on them, right? More money on them. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather double 100,000 than win a bunch of $1,000 positions. And ultimately, yes, this is a bunch of small positions, but obviously in terms of the overall, picture, for me, I look at the markets like a fight, right? It's a fight between the Bulls and the Bears. And the only way you're really going to lose long term is really, I guess there's many ways, right? But really, it's when you're flip flopping, truthfully. And ultimately, going short, shorting the market, listen, there are people that make a full time living shorting, but I don't think for the average person it makes sense to ever hit the short button, right? Like, if you want to sell your assets for cash, fine. But to actually try to short a stock market, and listen, I'm saying that staring at a chart like this, right? But push comes to shove, when you look at a chart like this and you see this trend line, you have to see ultimately, a trend line that's going to break out, right? That ultimately the market will eventually do something like this. And it's like, if you want to put your money somewhere, somewhere that you're never going to lose, it should be figuring out ways to go more long on the market. In the end of the day, right? Whether it's, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, Bitcoin, this is what you should be doing, is like, how can I stack as many chips as possible and push as many chips all in as if it's a poker table on the assets that are guaranteed to win. Trying to gamble on individual cryptos, which, listen, this isn't to say I don't have altcoins. I have an Aave bag, I have a Crypto.com bag, a Chainlink bag. Like, I have some altcoins too, but to be putting, your money on these individual cryptos and these individual stocks, it's just, you got to ask yourself, is the juice really worth the squeeze, right? Is it something I truly believe in? Is it something I would go to bat for, go to war for? Because at the end of the day, you can go to war for the stock market. You can go to war for the S&P 500. You can pull up that chart and know that it's always going to succeed. And guess what? If it's not succeeding, then the world is in a big problem. It's like, unfortunately, at this point, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, they're just made up of such important companies, all of the biggest, right? The people that control the world. So if they are not succeeding, then the world is going to be going through issues. And that's why, you can just focus on something like selling options on this and ultimately understanding that it will recover. The NASDAQ is one of the only things that really almost doesn't consolidate, right? When you pick these individual stocks, you might be stuck for years in a range that's just not moving, right? You want to be in this while the whole market is going up. Okay, now it's having a big move, congratulations. But the years that you spent doing this are just not worth it, right? So that's just the moral of the story. If you want to be successful in the markets, don't flip-flop. Understand that the bulls will get back control, but it has to be the right asset, right? If it's the wrong asset, the wrong stock, the wrong crypto, whatever it is, you are just going to be sitting around with, just miserable. Honestly, there's no way to sugarcoat it. So that's really that. Ultimately, I think you understand where I'm coming from, and that you shouldn't be trying to trade these crazy strategies, this crazy technical analysis. All you need is to understand that the market in the long term will always go up, and you need to, just really focus on creating more income from the market. Because trying to pick individual positions, not to say that you can't ever do it. I'm not by any means saying that you can't ever do it. At the moment I have one position open on TSLL, and look how it's gone for me. Truthfully, forget what I say, forget what I do, right? Because in the end of the day, I'll say to only focus on the NASDAQ, and I'll say to only focus on IBIT, but I'm doing things like taking positions on individual stocks. And if you've been following me, you would know that a lot of the individual stock plays, some of them have panned out, but a lot of them have done really bad. Ultimately, any individual stock, any individual crypto, even if it's Tesla, is still a gamble, right? Because the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, will make sure to handle the hard part out for you. If a company is failing, they'll get rid of it, right? When a company is succeeding, they'll add more of it. They know how to do what you need it to do. So ultimately, that's all it comes down to. And ultimately, yes, I'm going to have a lot more green days like this because the market will continue to bounce. Even if it does continue the bear trend, right? Even if it does something like this, it's like I don't really have to worry because I'm involved in things that I truly believe in, things that I will, go to bat for and die for. But when it comes to individual stocks, there's really nothing like that where I'm so passionate about it. I'm passionate about the market as a whole. I'm passionate about understanding how to create more income from a bet that I know is going to win. So I hope you learned a little bit about my mindset and how, you can create winning days for yourself in the market. And if you aren't having winning days, I can almost guarantee it's because you're flip-flopping, which, like I said, is just a recipe for disaster. And if you want to learn how to sell options, I'm going to put the free guide in the comments. I'm going to put the strategy just so you understand my strategy and how I go about dealing with the market. But again, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.